For us, it's a daily thing.
It's every day, right?
This is Mammoth Daily
We're going to take you inside the locker room
with Mike Fulta.
We want this show to be about the fans, and we want this show to be driven by our Utah Mammoth community.
And Adrian Denny.
Fans can submit what they want to hear us talk about, what they want to hear Utah weigh in on. It's all going to be here.
Here's Mike and AD with you.
Utahns, countrymen, lend me your ears.
Right here on Mammoth Daily.
Hey everybody, welcome on in to your Friday free-for-all. Adrian Denny with you. Thanks for joining us wherever you're catching Mammoth Daily on this Friday on Apple, Spotify, the Utah Mammoth YouTube page, Mammoth Plus, SEG Plus. Like us, subscribe us, share us, and thanks for tuning in. The more the merrier, as we always say right here on Mammoth Daily. Big win for the team on Thursday night, 2-1. Over the Dallas Stars. We'll break it all down. Mike will be along with his morning after coming up as the Mammoth. Now during the month of January, 6-1-1. They're 4-0-1 to start the homestand. Do we need to readjust expectations for this homestand? I'm going to readjust mine coming up. We'll talk all about Karel Vejmelka as he outdueled Jake Ottinger. And for the Mammoth, it was all hands on deck. Let's hear what head coach André Tourigny said after the game. He talks about his stars of the game, and he's got a lot to cover here on the contest.
Really good team on the other side. Really like the way we play. It was heavy. It's a tough team to play. They hold on puck. They're heavy on puck. You need to go through. You need to work really hard to get the puck, and we did. I think there's a few really key performer tonight. Thinking at Tourigny, playing against Rantanen, and the physicality and the strength he showed, and to counter him and to play against him, did a really good job. And I think you talk about Stanny, the number of face-off he took at the end of the game on a 6-on-5 and on the PK against Robert Inns, who was 58% in the season, and Stanny won a big share of those. So I think those were key play, allowed us to hold on and get the 2 points.
So the Mammoth holding down that first wildcard spot in the Western Conference after the big 2-point night at home. And for Utah, all hands on deck. Thursday night, it was Utah's top line factoring in on both goals. And I love this first goal. All 5 guys on the ice touch the puck in 7 seconds, and they cover 200 feet to take a 1-0 lead with 7 seconds left to go in the second. Nate Schmidt started it. Lawson Krause, Clayton Keller, John Marino, Nick Schmaltz there for the slam dunk as the Mammoth take a late 1-0 lead. You remember in Buffalo in the third period on November 4th, a game that was scoreless in the third period. Nick Schmaltz gave Utah a 1-0 lead in that one. It was his 17th of the year. And then right off of the face-off in the third period, Utah found a way to get another one as Schmaltz won the draw back to Marino, just fired it to the net, went up high on the goalie, and it's how you got to score on Jake Ottinger. Anything you can put on him has a chance to go in. It's not usually a spot that goalies are used to seeing pucks up high. In fact, as I think about a couple of decades in pro hockey, that's probably the number one thing that will start a fight in practice, is if a goalie takes a shot up high near the mask area, inadvertently, always, but it's usually a call-up guy that gets a puck a little high, gets close to the goalie's mask, the head area, and that is probably the number one thing that you'll see start a fight in practice. John Marino did it there in a game. It's just it was a rising shot. It was a blast off of a nice face-up win by Nick Schmaltz, and it went to the back of the net. So no apologies there. No luck. You send the puck in on the goalie. It bounced off his body. It wasn't any couple bounces, didn't go off of a couple guys. It just went straight off the goalie into the back of the net. So Utah able to hold on the final 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Dallas pulled the goalie, only had 3 shots. Heard André Tourigny talking about Kevin Stenlund winning all those faceoffs. Barrett Hayton also went 11 for 11 in the faceoff dot in the game. Only player in the NHL this year to go perfect on faceoffs when he's taken more than 10 in a game. Let's get to Mike's morning after. Let's hear what our radio play-by-play announcer on Hockey Night in Utah had to say about this one. Here's Mike following the contest.
All right. It's your Mike's morning after following a 2-1 win. I was going to use the scoreboard to help me remember the score, but I guess they turned it off. Over the Dallas Stars. Big time win for the Mammoth. 2 points or 2 points. It was gritty. It was not pretty. I think of the 2 goals, a tip and then a puck that bounces off of Jake Ottinger and then in to the back of the net right behind him. So some luck involved in those goals, but I thought Utah deserved it. You heard on the radio side, I think it was Ian Cole talking about the reload that this team has. I love the reload because it felt like anytime Dallas got the puck out, the Mammoth were able to get it quickly back into the zone, and they spent a lot of time in the offensive zone. In the 2 minutes, I think, in the first period, the Mammoths had like 2 minutes more offensive zone time than Dallas. So they jumped on Dallas early. They did not score early, but they stuck with it. And even when Dallas scored on the power play, Utah is able to score quickly after. And that comes off a Schmaltz face-off win. And that comes after John Marino just getting shots immediately towards the net. We've heard from Nate Schmidt on like training the forwards to go to the net immediately instead of trying to make plays high in the zone, like just go to the net immediately because that allows the defenseman to shoot the puck immediately. Right off the face-off, Schmaltz wins it back. You have guys that are going to the net, and Marino just sends a ripper that is hard enough for Ottinger to struggle with. And this is a Dallas team that, look, let's face it, was in a disadvantage, a scheduled disadvantage. Their last game of a road trip, 3rd game in 4 nights. So similar to Toronto, you're getting a team that is a little weary coming into the game. But you look at the guys in this roster, Mikko Rantanen, Wyatt Johnston, Matt Duchene, who was unreal tonight, Thomas Harley. Like this is the second best team in the NHL. Even when they're down bad a little bit, lost 8 of their last 10 coming in, they are still a force to be reckoned with. And we've seen when this Utah group can get out and run, and we've seen what happens when the night is easy. They can score a lot when the night's easy. It was coming to them easy against Toronto. And I use easy as a relative term. Tonight it was hard, and the Mammoth were able to, I guess, play and win when they were uncomfortable and when things weren't coming easily and pucks were hopping over guys' sticks. There were some moments of disconnection in the offensive zone, but the Mammoth stuck with it, and I thought they were really good defensively. I thought Vejmelka was really good again. And the combination of Utah being good in their own end and Vejmelka being the Vejmelka we know and love, that's leading to back-to-back games allowing just 1 goal. And Veggie was the first star. I wish he would have done the interview because his interviews are electric, but we got a great interview out of John Marino on the bench with Sarah Merrifield. Hilarious. I think one of his answers was just two phrases: shoot puck, go in. That's what it was tonight. It was a simple game. It was a straight ahead game. It wasn't an easy game, but the Mammoth prevailed, and that quick goal after Dallas's tally, that's what this team needs, is that quick regroup. So what a homestand so far. You've got 9 out of 10 possible points. You're rolling, and you have 2 more really good teams in Philly and Seattle coming in. And this is the time to keep putting the foot on the gas and use these games as launch pads into the next game. Don't dwell on them, but use them to generate confidence. So don't have a ton on this game because not a ton happened, at least offensively, but really good defensive effort from really 2 teams, 2 top 10 defensive teams. Mammoth just got 1 more bounce, and they earned it. But let's take it for what it is. You find a way to win a close game against a good team, that's something to build on.
Again, you go back to that Keller, Schmaltz, Krause line, getting 2 goals after they didn't get any goals when Utah scored 6 on Tuesday. And tonight, they got both of them. It shows the depth, the all hands on deck. You heard André Tourigny giving given the details, but really like the 4 forward lines right now. Tanev, Stenlund, O'Brien, always playing a big, heavy game. Stenlund in the face-off dot, Tanev and O'Brien laying down hits, working hard in the offensive end. Love swapping Boot and Gunther. I think for JJ Peterka, playing with Hayton and Daniil Boot, kind of drags him into the fight. The way those guys work, the way they're in the corners, you've seen JJ Peterka joining them down low and get involved in the work, and he knows the way that they work. They're going to find him for some goals. It's a good offensive situation for JJ with Hayton and Boot, and on the season he's got 15 goals. He's on pace for best year of his career, but it's always an adjustment coming from a team that missed the playoffs 14 years in a row to a new team with expectations and a different culture, a different head coach, different teammates. It's been a first half for Peterka that we've learned a lot about him. He's greatly improved his 360-degree game defensively and just the way he moves around without the puck. And I think the Mammoth are pretty excited about the next 4.5 years with JJ, just seeing the potential and the way that he's grown and become part of this group, because the Mammoth know that with the culture that they're building and they built to this point, it's going to be a good fit for JJ Peterka. Second best team in the NHL on Thursday night, the Dallas Stars. Let's hear what head coach André Tourigny thought. Bear always tells us if we play our best game and they play their best game, it's going to be a 1-goal game in the third period.
I think we were the better team tonight. I think we deserve to win. That's my opinion. But I know it could have gone in the other direction. 2 deflection and we're down by 1. That's just the NHL. It's such a thin line every night, but our confidence coming from the consistency in our performance every night, and now we expect and we know what to expect.
And some big saves from Karel Vejmelka. Veggie stopped 27-28. For those of you on YouTube, there it is from Sam Steele, just reaching up and gloving it in that third period to keep the 2-1 lead for the Mammoth. Vejmelka now 22, 11, and 2 with a 2.53 goals against average and a save percentage of .903. He leads NHL goaltenders in minutes, and he outdueled Team USA's Olympic goaltender in this one. Jake Ottinger, one of them. He's represented the USA on the national stage before, did at the Four Nations face-off, drops him to 17, 9, and 4. He's got a 2.68 goals against average and a save percentage of .903. So Vejmelka, better numbers in wins, goals against average, save percentage, time on ice. The Czechian goaltender outdueled the Team USA goaltender on this night. And he's just so composed. He is just so calm in there. Gives the team that confidence that we've talked about and allows them to pull off close victories. But that's another guy that's on a 5-year contract. Utah extending him in the middle of last season, knowing that they had their guy, seeing the body of work and saying, okay, that's our goalie right there. Let's get a deal done. Let's hear from Nick Schmaltz on the team and the victory that the Mammoth gathered on Thursday.
No, I think, Veggie's playing well, but I think we're just playing fast. I think it's noticeably how much faster we're playing. We're not giving teams time and space, and we know how hard it is when teams are suffocating you like that, and it gets frustrating. Then you start, forcing plays, or even tend to get frustrated and just start giving up a little bit. So that's our goal by the end of the game, kind of do as best we can to frustrate them, and hopefully we can, take advantage and get the 2 points.
I think we're seeing the body of work of Bill Armstrong's dream team when he became an NHL general manager 5 years ago, after 20 years in pro hockey, after retiring as a player, as an ECHL head coach, an AHL assistant and head coach, a pro scout, a director of scouting, an assistant GM, and a general manager. You can tell that his vision, is exactly what Utah has by talking to him and the kind of hockey that he wants to see. A fast team that has skill, that will enter the offensive zone and then go to work and pound you. And we saw it against Toronto. We saw it against Dallas. Utah's puck possession in the game, it takes away the need to play defense because you don't have to play defense when you have the puck. And the Mammoth, especially in the third periods the last couple nights, have really gone in and dominated the contest and picked up another close victory. Let's hear from John Marino on the close games that the Mammoth are playing and winning. And that's not always been the case.
Being comfortable in those uncomfortable situations. Less panic, more poise. Just being able to rely on each other, in those tough situations, in those high-pressure moments.
So what do you think, folks? Mammoth on this homestand, 4-0-1. You're 5 games in out of 7. For me, you looked at the teams that were coming in, maybe a little understated in terms of their standings position. Ottawa, never beaten them before. Toronto, never beaten them before. St. Louis is always a handful. Both games last year against Columbus went past regulation. You got Dallas, second best team in the NHL. You got Seattle, third place in the Pacific. And Philly, who's been in the top 3 in their division until this recent 5-game winless skid. For me, it's always been 10 of 14 points. 5-2. That's my goal. Realizing that 4-2-1 is pretty good. 9 of 14 points. Now, 5 games in, you've got 9 of 14 points guaranteed. You got Seattle coming in Saturday. It's game 5 of a trip for them that's gone from Carolina to the Eastern Seaboard to Salt Lake. You got Philly. They're now winless in 5 all of a sudden and starting to see some injuries sink in to them in terms of a top player or 2. What's the expectation now? I'm recalibrating mine. Utah can go out and take both of these, take 13 to 14, and that would be an unbelievable homestand. But you can't have another Columbus happen. And I think everybody knows that. Bear said it was first game in the last month that he didn't care for necessarily. Seattle coming in, 5-game road trip, end of the road for them. Take it to them again. I think the Mammoth learned their lesson against Columbus, who was coming in on a back-to-back after a 4-0 loss in Colorado. They let them dictate the pace to start the game. 1-0, second shot, 2-ish minutes in, and then 2 power play goals. They win the game 3-2 in overtime. You gave them the game. You gave them opportunities to win the game. They haven't given anybody else opportunities to win the game. So against Seattle, don't give them any opportunities. Stay out of the penalty box and play with a lead. Utah's only trailed 1 of the 5 games on this homestand. It was against Columbus. And no offense to Columbus. Rick Bowness, 2-0 with them. We're Rick Bowness fans on Mammoth Daily here. We like him. We root for him. But before he got the job, the Mammoth should have won on Sunday against Columbus. They had a 2-1 lead late in the second, took a penalty. Blue Jackets tied it. Took a penalty late in the third period. Blue Jackets won it. Like that's how it happened. Don't let that happen again against Seattle and Philadelphia because the Mammoth are in a great spot to make it 13 out of 14 here. And I think they learned their lesson. I don't think we'll see another thud on this homestand because you got Seattle 3:00 on Saturday and then you don't play again until Wednesday. So big key Wednesday is going to be the restart. Utah for 4 days rest this year is 0-2. So those are my recalibrated expectations for the rest of the homestand, but couldn't be any more impressed with the group as a whole. Bear changing up the lines, swapping Boot and Gunther. You get the middle 6 to get 6 goals 2 nights ago. You get Keller, Schmaltz, and Krause to get 2 goals on Thursday to beat a Dallas team by a count of 2-1, a team he'd gone 1-4 against and hadn't been able to win the close ones. 4 1-goal losses against Dallas coming into the game on Thursday. And all hands on deck, 2-1 victory for the Mammoth over the Dallas Stars. On Mammoth Daily, Adrian, Denny with you. Thanks for coming along with us, folks. Always love having you on. It's a Friday free-for-all edition. And when we come back, my good friend, Adam Mikulich from 2 News, Talkin Hockey, me and Mike are on just about every Sunday with him, talking Utah Mammoth on 2 News just after 11 p.m. And today he's going to come on our show for the Friday free-for-all. Talk about covering the team, his thoughts on Bill Armstrong, André, Tourigny, hockey fans in the state, and how great they've been with this NHL team. And then Mike and I, in our local hockey roundup in the third period, we've got a fun segment on the Utah High School Hockey Tournament that's ongoing, and we've got an update from the Ogden Hockey League. We cover it all right here on Mammoth Daily.
Get ready. Your Friday free-for-all is here.
We're here at 2 News, my friend, Adam Mikulich, and you can find us every night, Sunday nights, Talkin Hockey, 2 News. I'll either be with you or Mike will either be with you. Not sure how you got stuck with the Mammoth Daily cast on your show, but
it's my
love doing
absolute
it.
pleasure. Well, what we decided to do, and this goes back a few years ago, for a long time, talking sports on Sunday nights, which was traditionally an hour-long thing after 2 News at 10, and it was an anything goes, just a blank template as far as, what we wanted to put in the show. Got my IP dangling right there. What we decided to do is do the first half hour as something that is just hyper-local. We'll get into as many different topics as we possibly can. But then the second half of the show was going to be topical. So the first thing we did was talking college football, and via NIL, we could get, some student athletes in here and they would spend their Sunday nights with us. The next thing that took place was talking hockey. It was a no-brainer when the Mammoth came here. The fever pitch was so high. There are so many, how do I put this? There's always a counterculture of fans waiting for their turn. And all the hockey fans in Salt Lake City finally got their place at the table. So we had to capitalize on that. We had to do a show. So this year, I took over Talkin Hockey from the first show up until where we are right now, which is basically the exact midway point of the season. And the next thing is, how are we going to make this thing work? Obviously, you're the first person that we thought of because you and I are dear friends. We go way back to our time in the ECHL with the Utah Grizzlies together. So to have you introducing us to Mike Folta, who's turned out to be a great friend. He is absolutely hilarious. It's great to have a Midwesterner on the show, and they're a different breed of hockey fan. And then Spence Checkett's joining us from ESPN 700. So that's our rotation of 3 different guys that you can see on Sunday nights. It's a full half hour that is completely devoted to the Utah Mammoth. And the way that we come up with ideas for this show is Adrian and I just keep in touch with one another, or if it's Mike's week, Mike and I keep in touch with one another, and we just bounce ideas off of one another. What are people talking about? What's going on with the team? I can't make it out to every game. So the fact that you guys are around this club so much and you're such great judges of character, it's great to get the inside look and scoop on things. Tim Peterson is the name of our producer. He's a Utahn through and through, and he has caught the hockey bug. He's a huge Utah Jazz fan, University of Utah grad, and he has fallen in love with the Mammoth. And so he's kind of my guy behind the guy, making us look good out here. And I'm really thrilled with how it's going, Adrian, because you know me really well, better than most. And with this job and me comes this shot of adrenaline that I wish I could get under control, but it's just never going to happen. And it's not because I'm a type A. It's because I want everything to look and sound good and be something that people can enjoy. So when I do, there hasn't been a single one of these Sunday shows that we've done where I haven't gone home happy. And so let's try and keep that going.
Let's do it.
I'm doing the best I can.
And if you haven't joined us yet, folks, for Talkin Hockey on 2 News, 11:07 every night after Talkin Sports.
Yeah.
After 2 News.
Yeah, basically 11:05. And again, it's kind of the best of both worlds. You get that full half hour on Sunday nights in the fall. We'll do NFL highlights. We'll recap what our college football teams have done. We'll keep an eye on the rankings. Right now, we're going through this crazy college football coaching carousel. We keep an eye on the locals. And then after we're done with that full half hour, we end it with our play of the day, the best thing we saw all day. We kick in right into a half-hour-long edition of Talkin Hockey. And towards the back end of the show, we always take a look at the standings. We look at where they are. You are a wonderful glasses-half-full guy. Only 3 points separate 1 through 7 in that wild card race, and they're going to be right there the whole way through. And you keep reminding me that Bill Armstrong predicted this is right where they were going to be heading into the season.
Yeah, and Adam, you've been covering hockey for over a decade here in the Valley because we did Grizzlies hockey on KMYU together.
Which was such a wonderful time. Again, everything with me comes with this shot of adrenaline to try and be perfect. You allowed me to learn the game of hockey on the friggin' bench. So I'm on the Utah Grizzlies bench.
You were what Nick Olczyk does on our broadcast
exactly.
Now, between the benches.
Yeah, between the benches. And what a place to learn the game of hockey, watching Tim Branham coach, with you on the call, watching the players and the nuances of the game. And I was so nervous to join that crew. But next thing you know, I would go home and see my parents and see all these people back in Washington. And they're like, wait a second, you're a hockey broadcaster now? A guy who grew up running cross country and playing baseball in the Pacific Northwest, where the closest hockey team was up north in Vancouver. I didn't know anything about the game. And I have enjoyed it so much. And what's really been wonderful is getting to know the wonderful people that hockey players are. You hardly ever run into an ego that's overpowering. You hardly ever run into a guy that's not willing to share his story or talk passionately about what he's doing. It's a wonderful avenue to get into. And thank you for kind of being a tutor for me.
My favorite part of the story, we've never told this story on air, I don't think, but 2012, I think, we're getting ready to put Grizzlies games on KMYU for the first time. And so we're in a meeting here at 2 News with me and some Grizzlies management.
Kent Crawford,
the general manager of KUTV. And we're talking, and I'm kind of like, I kind of like Adam to join us, because they're like, who are you going to do the games with? I'm like, I kind of like Adam to come on, and we never met.
Yeah.
And
but we had, I think I had
covered
gone
games. Yeah.
I had gone and done a couple of features on the Grizzlies. Remember I did the playoff beard story?
Yes.
But we had never worked.
We'd never worked together.
Yeah. But you handpicked me.
And I'm like, I think who are you going to work with, Adrian? I'd like to work with Adam. And 2 seconds later, you walk by and Kent says, well, there's Adam. Go grab him.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
They brought you in, told you about us.
Yeah, I had heard just these tiny little whisperings from the salespeople around the station. Like a guy just kind of nestled up to me in the kitchen, and he kind of gives me one of these. He goes, "The hockey guy," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Oh," and he kind of walked away like I'm not supposed to let the cat out of the bag. I just happened to be sitting at my desk the day that happened. I can't remember what I was dressed up for, but I was getting ready to go do a story. And all of a sudden, the people from the Grizzlies come walking in, and I thought to myself, "Oh my God, this is actually happening." And so next thing you know, I get called into the office.
You walked by and Kent's, oh, there he goes. There's Adam. Grab him.
And Kent, this is the best part. So Kent had only been our general manager for a short amount of time. He wasn't the GM when I moved here, and I had only been here for maybe barely 2 years. And he said, everybody, I want you to meet Adam Mikulich. And honestly, Kent gets a hall pass on that because I do not have the easiest last name. And then you just had this big smile on your face, and the rest is history.
And here we are.
Yeah. Did we do 7 seasons together?
We did.
Yeah.
We did 7
including
seasons.
the playoffs. It was just a wonderful
Playoff
time.
games.
And I mean, think about the lasting friendship that I got to make with Tim Branham and Ryan Kanasowicz. We still text each other every once in a while. Tim still does kids camps, and they do have a footprint here in Utah. And again, it's the friendships that you keep. And when I found out that you were coming back here from Tucson, the day that you called me and told me, boy, oh boy, I think I was out covering like a high school soccer game or something like that. And I thought, well, I wonder what this could be about. And boy, my heart was broken. I mean, not just that our partnership had come to an end, but I genuinely love you as a friend. And
when I went to Tucson.
When you went to Tucson, I mean, great get for you, but it sucks to lose a friend. So to have you come back here was really a cool experience. It's been awesome.
And I know you've loved covering head coach André Tourigny because you cover a number of games and your post game with Bear afterwards, getting his insight. He's got a way of breaking things down and articulating and illustrating what he thought of the game in terms of just the stories.
There's no dead air with him. Everything is sent with a purpose. He's not just trying to fill people up with an excuse or just, any coach in any walk of life, if they want to, can give you just an answer that shuts you up and gets them out of the room. Coach Tourigny is very, very sincere. If he doesn't like the way a reporter asks a question, You can tell on the inflection of his voice. He doesn't necessarily go after any of the young reporters that are in that room, but he stands up for his players when he needs to. He gets after his players when he needs to, but then you come to find the players hold themselves accountable in a much different way. When they lose, they know well that they lost that game, and they know what they need to do to fix it. It's just a real wonderful cohesion that he brings in there. He's the kind of guy you want to play hard for. And in any walk of life, any sport, if the players respect the coach to the point where it's like, I don't want to let that guy down. It's such a basic thing, but it doesn't always happen. So I love these character guys that hold themselves accountable, and they love pleasing their coach, because that's what it's all about.
Another guy you get to cover, and he comes around. He's been in this studio a number of times. Bill Armstrong, general manager.
I just love him.
The best thing about he has been telling us for the last 6 months the plan here, right?
Yeah.
We're going to go through some things. This is a tough schedule. We are starting out with a first half where we're 500 right around the wild card. That's going to be good for us. But to have a general manager like Bill who comes out and lays it all out, like that's it, just telling the story and delivering the communication is so big.
This guy is amazing. Bill Armstrong makes me want to do my job better and work harder, because if somebody's working that hard for this franchise, for this community, for the people that work under him, how could you not want to do your job a little bit better? I met him for the first time at the NHL draft. I was so nervous to go on that trip because it was something a little bit out of my comfort zone. I sent you a text. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
And you told me, Adam, you're a great storyteller. Just stick to telling stories. That really helped, by the way. So I get there, and the first guy I get some FaceTime with is Ryan Smith. Ryan and Ashley were there, and they actually were honorees at the NHL draft, because the Mammoth were a new thing at the time, Utah Hockey Club. The next guy I get to meet is Bill Armstrong. That guy is so good at his job. He's so chipper, so full of energy, eats, sleeps, and breathes hockey. And he knows how to work the room. He's a lovely person. He's got a great sense of humor. He doesn't take himself too seriously, but he takes what he's doing incredibly seriously. And to me, he's been one of the most refreshing parts of the whole process. I love being around that dude. And I don't ever want to hear that he's got a problem with me, because that means that I've done something really stupid. Makes sense?
He's great. He's just one of those people like us that have come up through the minor leagues.
And he was your resident.
That have done every job and understands the importance of communications, media, and broadcast.
Yeah, and what is he? 6'5", 240? I mean, he was a resident badass when he was a minor league player trying to break into the NHL. I mean, he is the real deal, the exact kind of guy you want in that situation. So thanks for bringing it up. And I'm Bill, I'm not trying to blow sunshine. I have sincerely kind of been struck by this guy.
Yeah. Adam, appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure.
Got to bring you back to talk playoff run going down the stretch.
I would absolutely love to. You know how it is in TV. We work in these time constraints. And so, we wear these earpieces so that producers can talk to us and kind of keep us in line. Hey, you only got about a minute left. You only got about 30 seconds left. So to do these long format things with a good friend, I mean, I'm just relaxed at a different level. So thank you for always thinking of me.
Yeah, thanks for coming
You're the
on.
absolute best.
Mammoth Daily. Thanks for having me and Mike and Spencer on Talkin Hockey.
We're having fun.
Every Sunday night, just after 11 p.m. on 2 News.
Anybody out there in the community, I'm not hard to find on social media or on email. If you like the show, let us know. If there's something that we can include, these things are a constant work in progress. And, community input is always welcome.
Adam, thank you.
You're the best.
This is Mammoth Daily.
Well, a big thank you to Adam Mikulich for joining us there on our Friday free-for-all. And Adam does such a great job with us, Adrian, on Talkin Hockey. So glad he was able to join our show for once after we jumped over. We've been jumping over to do his Sunday night show a few times. I know you and him go way back.
Yeah, he's a great friend, and he's just a supporter of local sports in Utah, loves the teams and loves to promote them and loves to tell stories. And so it's been a great fit. Mike, anytime somebody that's on TV gets to do a radio interview, a podcast interview, they love it. because we're not constrained by the 2-minute and 30-second segment. So it was great to get Adam on.
There's no cues in the background of a stage manager telling you, like, hey, figure it out here. You better wrap this up. But before we wrap it up, we do want to get to our local hockey segment. A lot to get to here, Adrian. We had boots on the ground at the Utah High School tournament. This was back on, Monday night. We were at Steiner. We caught a little bit of East and Brighton going head-to-head. This was game 2 of the night. These two teams had met previously, and it had been Brighton who had won the previous 2 matchups in the regular season. East able to pull out a pretty stunning 2-1 victory after it was scoreless for the first half of the contest, and then things opened up a little bit halfway through.
Yeah, Joseph Cooley got the game-winning goal for the Leopards. Final minute of the second period. It was a good game. We saw 2 goals, 13 seconds apart, 2-1. Great job by East. Killed a couple penalties from Brighton late in the first period there, and able to keep it scoreless, and then a couple quick goals, and the big goal there from Cooley to make it 2-1. So East moves on. They'll be taking on Park City coming up on Wednesday night next week, 7:00 at the County Ice Center. And then you've got Brighton and Harriman, Skyline and Bingham in the elimination bracket down there to move forward.
Yeah, all great stuff, and had a chance to talk with East coach Greg and their captain Pete before the game. They were feeling pretty good. I thought the coolest part was how the East coach was saying there were some kids who were like in learn to skate basically as 8th graders and as freshmen, and by the time they're seniors, they're impactful players on their team. So it just goes to show the impact that, well, I shouldn't say the impact, but just the growth of those individuals over a couple of years, putting in the time to be impactful players. And I did hear that the Mammoth have had a pretty big impact as well. Was talking with one of the trustees of one of the teams, and he was saying that when the Mammoth came, they saw a huge jump in guys signing up to play. So hopefully we get more and more of a spotlight on high school hockey, and it's a pipe dream of mine for us to be involved in it somehow, maybe next year, Adrian. But we know the high school tournament in Minnesota is a huge deal, and would love to make it a huge deal here in Utah. It's a huge deal to the kids and their families and the fans already, but just to expand the knowledge of high school hockey and spotlight these kids who are playing the game we all love.
Yeah, so shout out to Joseph Cooley on the GWG, Nolan Beliveau in between the pipes for
East. It was great.
He made some good stops. Jordan Durkee scored the goal shorthanded for Brighton, and then East came back 13 seconds later on the power play. Riley Pearson, Ortolani. So great job by those guys. East was the 2 seed, the only team that's beaten Park City. They'll play them again Wednesday, and Brighton had been the hottest team in the state. They can get back into it in the other bracket.
Yeah, so congrats to everybody. We highlighted Brighton and East because that's the game we were at. Kind of hard to make it to these with our schedule, but I'm glad we did it. We had fun over at Steiner. Good student sections out there as well, and couldn't pry people away from AD. He had a line like the players at the Natural History Museum of people trying to come up to him and get a photo or just have a chat with him. So that was fun, and we'll do it again soon.
Yeah, can't wait. Blast it Steiner, and thanks to everybody that was there for their hospitality. Me and Mike, just 2 guys sitting in the stands, recording videos, watching as fans. It was fun. We were watching the game as fans, just excited to see the good hockey. Mike, you want to roll that interview that you did?
Let's do it.
Before the game. It was a lot of fun.
This was before. This is Coach Greg and Captain Pete. And Pete, I apologize. I got his name wrong at the start. I was sprinting in a little out of sorts, and I called him the wrong name at the start. But this was before the game, so we got a little taste of East's mindset heading into that win over Brighton. We're here ahead of a big Utah high school tournament matchup. We've got Bright East going, have a couple representatives from East here with us. We have Coach Greg and Captain Pete with us. Sorry, Pete. But just wanted to get your guys' thoughts ahead of this tilt here. You guys have played these guys a couple times already, a couple close matchups. Yep. So let's start with you kind of on the process, the plan going into tonight's matchup.
Well, it's exciting. These kids have faced off 2 times already, so to do it again and have a chance to redeem ourselves after 2 losses is a big moment for us. It's also fun because these kids play on other teams, and they've got kids that play together with kids on our team, and so high school hockey's always got some fun to it, and they battle hard against each other, and they'll be friends again tomorrow.
What say you, Captain Pete?
Just we're good friends with a couple of their kids, but every time we play, we put that aside and gets real chippy. So looking forward to that tonight.
And that's what breeds rivalries, isn't it? It's these games where a lot of the guys on the other side, there's some familiarity. And I couldn't get a spot in the parking lot, fellas. The place is jammed. Is that going to play a factor here tonight too?
Oh, this is pretty much our home rink. We don't get any practices, but when we do, it's right here. So we're excited to be here, have some fans out, get some noise going.
Yeah, our school's like 5 minutes away, so we always get a good number of students come in. So that really helps us in games like these.
Just last one for you guys, and hopefully the season continues here tonight, but just reflection on what this season has been like for you guys. And is it the 3 seed that you guys are?
Yeah.
Earning that spot, turning is so small.
Yeah, it's been an exciting process. We've got 5 seniors that played on varsity all year this year. We've got one that started out as the freshman learning to play, and he's on the team, so it's really fun. It's pretty cool to have that opportunity. These guys to work together and go keep pushing through the season and accomplish something tonight.
Yeah, we've had really good teams for the past few years, but I feel like this team this year is the best. So far, all the guys work well together. It's not like individual. We're not playing for points. So yeah, it's really fun playing with these guys.
Greg, Pete, thanks for the time, guys. You fit tonight.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Great interview, Mike. Captain Pete getting the assist on Joseph Cooley's game-winning goal that came with 52 seconds left in the second. But that was not all going on Monday night in the state, Mike. We had the Ogden Hockey League. The Tigers in white beat the Bison in orange 2-1. Game-winning goal scored with 0.8 seconds left. Matt sending us this update, attacked by Panda on Twitter. His line scored the only goal for his team. He said he had a nice play in overtime. Again, game-winning goal scored with 0.8 seconds left in overtime, where he slid, in parentheses, fell, and knocked the puck away before they could shoot. It was a fun game, but Matt's Bison, Mike, second end of a back-to-back in the Ogden Hockey League on Monday night. Tigers beat the Bison 2-1 in overtime. Heartbreak Hotel with 0.8 seconds left to go.
Wow. Great work, Matt. That's a code blue call if I've ever seen one. That is fantastic. I love playing up at was that Ogden Ice Arena? The one next to okay. It must be their other sheet. I love playing at that big sheet with the big windows. That's fantastic. One of the first places I ever skated was up there. Wow.
Do you know what? Stuff. This might be at North Davis. I can't quite tell. It kind of looks like North Davis. So,
all the same, Matt, thanks for sending that in. Would love to see more live barn footage of beer league hockey, adult league hockey around the Salt Lake area. Send it in. We want to get to it, unless you are playing the D5 Rhinos at the Oval and number 53 is on the ice, in which case those tapes will disappear faster than the 18 missing minutes at Watergate. So do not, nobody pull any footage if I happen to be on the ice. But yes, love that from Matt. Please send us more.
Yeah, local hockey segment, folks. Everything going on in Utah. We want the footage. We want the stories. We want the updates. That's how we do the local hockey roundup here on Mammoth Daily. Mike, Afternoon action, 3 p.m. coming up tomorrow with Seattle. We'll have it for you. Hockey Night in Utah on the radio starting at 2. And on your way home, tune in. If you haven't yet, Hockey Night in Utah on the radio post-game edition presented by the Clinic for Car Accidents. We've got 2 honks for 2 points after a win. We'll hear from you, hear from me, hear from Mike, get all the best of the game with his highlights. So never not tune in to Hockey Night in Utah on the radio post-game edition. Don't be a stranger, folks. We have a good time. We spin the hits. We play Wooly Bully again after a win, what you hear in the arena. So we'll catch you on the radio coming up tomorrow. Mike, great week. Enjoy the rest of the Friday with your parents up at Brighton skiing, and we'll see everybody at the Delta Center in Section 6-7 on Saturday. Come by, say hi. Have a great day, everybody.